Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of Science Stream. Thank you for joining us live on Facebook. We hope you continue to stay safe and healthy during this pandemic. We'll be starting our broadcast shortly, so make yourself comfortable, and if you have any questions for our guests, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. See you in a bit. Hello once again, especially to those who have just joined us. I'm Sean from Penang, Penang's very own Science Discovery Center. Last week's Science Stream, we heard how Malaysians fared during the Movement Control Order. One of the aspects that was highlighted was on mental well-being, coping with the change. This week, we have Dr. Sangeeta Kaur, the founder of Emerging Journey Asia and CEO for Emergenetics Malaysia, to discuss on how to maintain mental well-being during a pandemic. Dr. Sangeeta is a dedicated mental health advocate, prioritizing in human capital development and assessment tools. She has over 20 years experience in her field of human capital and uses different creative approaches in her interaction. Dr. Sangeeta is recognized for being the first to use emergenetics profiling framework for the Deaf Society internationally and was honored for her excellence in quality. She organized Malaysia's first mental health experiential conference in 2019 in collaboration with the Malaysian Ministry of Health. The course of study of human psychology, behavior, and responses is rooted in her strong passion to help humanity discover their true potential through the understanding of their individual uniqueness and untapped potentials. Her spare time is spent engaging in community service projects. Through Emerging Journey Asia, she conducts regular workshops for the deaf with Deaf Mula and YMCA Deaf Club. She is also a volunteer counselor for MH370, MH17, and Talian Kasih under the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. Dr. Sangeeta's pleasant, energetic, friendly, and caring personality is her natural asset. She instantly makes people feel comfortable and welcome around her with her non-judgmental and non-stereotyping outlook. She continues to research, study, and expose herself to new frontiers each day to better equip herself to help others. She's humbled to find herself being a student of life as she continues learning each day from her extensive work and interaction with people. Please join me to welcome Dr. Sangeeta Kaur to the show.
Hi.
Hello, welcome to Science Stream, Dr. Sangeeta.
Hi, Sean. Thank you for having me on board.
Thank you for agreeing to be on the show.
Yes, always a pleasure.
Okay, so tell us more about Emerging Journey Asia. What does EGA do?
Okay, EJA is a talent development company where we focus on mental health, we focus on creating awareness, psychometric assessment, training and development workshops. So that's the expertise of Emerging Journey Asia. And I like that you mentioned about Malaysia's first mental health experiential conference. Just to let you know, yesterday, today, and tomorrow is our first anniversary.
Ah, what a coincidence.
Yeah. And it was so nice, and I'm on platform again.
Well, hope you're not too tired since you're engaged in this thing as well. But
Yes.
good that you can find some time to spare for us to be on Science Stream.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so before we proceed further, this is to the audience. We would like the audience to participate in a few polls tonight, right, Dr. Sangeeta?
Yes.
We have come up with 5 polls for them. So this is for us to better gauge the audience understanding of mental health and well-being. So the audience, do not worry if you get it right or wrong, as we will not be revealing who chose which answer. We want to see, is how's Malaysia's, or at least the very least, our audience understanding of mental health issues. Okay, so our first poll tonight is, who should you go to if you have mental health issues? Okay, 3 options here for you to choose: counselor, psychologist, or psychiatrist. All right. So while you answer that question, we will get Dr. Sangeeta to tell us what is mental health and well-being.
Okay. So just a little bit of understanding. Sean, maybe we can share the
Okay,
slide.
the slide.
Yeah?
All right.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So when we talk about mental health, okay, it is where we are able to function. So you can click the next button, right? Okay. It's where an individual function at a satisfactory level, all right, in terms of their emotion and behavior. Meaning you are able to regulate your emotion. You feel sad, you feel happy, you smile, then all this emotion, and also you're able to function, meaning I can wake up in the morning, I can do I can go to work, I can go to school, I can go and get stuff, socializing. So this is what it meant by mental health. Yeah. So there's 2 things that we need to look at here is that right now we are talking about mental health. And to the other extreme is mental illness. All right. So mental illness is when an individual unable to function at a satisfactory level. Okay. So meaning these individuals suddenly isolate themselves. They don't want to socialize. They feel, shift of emotion, which sometimes they feel that they can't sleep over a certain period of time. So, and it prolonged. So this is where you need to reach out to get more, to get yourself evaluated, to see which level are you right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's see how is the response for the poll.
Okay.
How many percent of the 3? What is the response for the 3 polls?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a bit.
So any responses?
Yeah, the response.
That's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. So let me just add a little bit on mental well-being. Yeah. So we have the mental health, then we have mental illness. So when we talk about mental well-being is where an individual realize their potential to cope with certain stresses. Okay. For example, they know that they can't sleep, so they take an active role or intervention to understand and apply. Like, for example, being mindful, or they don't read after 10 digital. They don't use digital, they don't use gadget after 10, so that they are more mindful, and this is
Relax.
for their well-being. Yes. So they are able to apply it.
Yeah. In fact, I started to do that also, to put my phones and devices on mute and things like that at the same
Yes.
time, so that I cannot access any of the apps during the time. I cannot be looking at social media and things like that. Okay, I think we already have the results up there. 75% chose counselor, 25% chose
Okay.
a psychiatrist, 0 chose a psychologist.
Psychologist.
So
Okay. All right.
0 is psychologist. So how close are they? How correct are they?
Okay. So if you look at the question in the poll, we say mental health issues, right? So mental health issues, most of the time, it's not that critical, where people can see a counselor or a psychologist. Unless we term it as mental health illness, where they need to be diagnosed, then you have the psychiatrist to be on board. So just to share a little bit to those of you who are tuning in,
What's
right?
different between a psychiatrist and a psychologist?
Yes, yes. So if you look at the screen, a counselor is someone who have a diploma, degree, or master's level. All right. They see less disturbed client. All right, who are facing with day-to-day problems or issues and all, but they cannot prescribe medication. All right, and there are 7,000 to 8,000 registered and licensed counselor in Malaysia under Lembaga Counselor Malaysia. So I am one of those registered, yeah, and licensed. Then when we talk about psychologists, they need to get degree in psychology. All right, they are able to diagnose, but they cannot prescribe medication. Okay, so more or less, counseling and counselor and psychologist, they are similar, but clinical psychologists, they can do more assessment. Okay, so when we come to psychiatrists, they are medical doctors. All right, so they have a medical degree and they see more severe disturbed patient and they are able to prescribe medication. So we need to understand these three levels. Besides that, there are other outlets that people can reach out to, right? For example, you have like Befrienders, you have Sneham, where they are not counselors, okay? Maybe there are some callers, that they are a counselor, but most of the time they learn certain skill where they listen and to assist that individual. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we need to be, so with the poll earlier, so 75%, counselors. So okay, we are on the right track a little bit. I mean, you can see a psychiatrist, you can see a psychologist, but to reach out, to reach out to a counselor is easier. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is not you can, I guess you can review, more comfortable to review things at that stage, and also you don't feel that there's something really so wrong with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
No, carry on. Yeah.
So I was saying that maybe we can have the next poll up before we continue. Okay. The next poll: is mental illness contagious? So is it contagious? Yes or no? Okay. So audience, please put your answers in. Let's move on while the audience answers that. During the movement control order and the current ongoing pandemic, is there a reported increase in people's mental well-being being affected during this period of time?
Yes. In fact, from Lembaga Counselors research, okay, it says the numbers increased during the first 8 weeks, okay, and a lot of things that is going on with individual, yeah, and also from Talian Kasih, the numbers increase, even Befrienders increase, so there are increase in individuals' mental well-being. Okay, and it can be many possibilities. It can be worrying about family members, or worrying about you falling ill, or your family members falling ill, and then hopelessness, fear, stress. So these are all the contribution factors to the mental well-being. And again, when you are confined, right, to a space, okay, so there are limited things that you can do. And also, if you look at it, there's always where you cross boundaries. Because when you work, you are working at home. And then you need to address the house problem, the house issues, have to cook, have to clean, have to do so many different things. So that is why those individuals, they find it difficult to manage their emotion and their frame of, their thoughts. Because when we are so into, there's a clear boundary. When I go out, I'm going to work, but then at home it's my family time. But now it's all meshed up. Yeah.
Correct. There's no boundary anymore.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's see what the audience says about contagion
Okay.
of mental illness.
Yes. Ah,
All right. So 63%, is it 63%? 62% says 63% says no. 38% says yes.
okay. That's interesting. That people feel that that's no.
Okay. So did the audience get it right, Dr. Sangeeta? The answer?
Again, it's individual. If those who answer no might be because they are able to regulate their emotion and their thoughts. That is why they know that it doesn't really affect them. You
Okay.
know, yeah.
And
So
others?
again, um, different experience for different people. You know, it might not affect me, but it might affect someone else. You see, so the responses might be from that reflection of self. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, okay, the next poll, who is more prone to mental health challenges, men or women?
Okay.
Okay, so what the audience answers that, let's talk about cabin fever. So just now you mentioned about, having to be in the same environment
Yes.
for work, for family. So we have heard of the term cabin fever where many countries all over the world were under lockdown, including Malaysia. What exactly is cabin fever?
Okay. Cabin fever, this term has been around for so many years. All right. So the term cabin fever starts during winter. Okay. Country who go through winter where they can't go out and they are locked within, they are being isolated, you know. So and they have to stay inside for a long period of time. And and when they are not able to go out, when they don't have enough sunlight, some countries you have limited sunlight, right? And heavy snow, so they cannot go out, have often or do their regular activity that how they're supposed to be. So this is an environment where they feel that restlessness. Okay, they feel uh, irritate easily, they feel impatient because it seems like very long and you are in the confined area. So this is what
Yeah.
during MCO we are all good, even though we have no snow, we have no winter, but we go through the similar symptoms by being locked down in our house. All right. And some of us who living in an environment where you have space. All right. So it's I can say, or it might not be as bad as someone who are in a smaller space. Because imagine you have a smaller space and you have everyone inside, not able to go
Yes.
out, not able to do anything. So it affects the individual more. All right.
Yeah.
So that is why, and also individual might sleep less or might sleep longer. So it's all a change that is happening in the body and in the mind that affects their mental well-being. Mm-hmm.
So I can see that the disadvantaged ones will have suffered through much worse.
Yes, that is why we need to be mindful. So remember, I mentioned earlier that mental health mental well-being is that, okay, when you feel that you're going to sleep for a long time, you feel that, you don't want to go out, you don't want to talk, that's the trigger point. So you need to put effort to wake up, have a proper schedule. You know, you need to balance your time, meaning you need to have time with others, maybe your children, your spouse, your in-laws, your family members, and you need to have the time for yourself. For me, right, if I need the time for myself, I always go to the bathroom. No one disturb.
No one can go in and share
Yeah,
with
go
you.
in. No one want to like. So that is my alone time. It can take like 5-10 minutes for you to just ground yourself, relax your shoulders, so that you feel that you are being supported. You feel that you are calm. Because if you don't address these small triggers, it you might burst out, right? Or do certain activities where you feel good, you know? So this is how you need to address cabin fever.
Okay. Okay, let's see how the audience answered the poll just now.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like 63% says women are more prone. So,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sangeeta, does gender actually play a role in a person's mental well-being? Are men more tough and less prone to mental health issues compared to women, like what our audience are suggesting?
Okay. So, I mean, this is a good thing, right? Because now we know that majority of our audience thinks that women are more prone to mental issues. Okay, just to let all of you, to understand that mental health doesn't look at age. It doesn't look at your color. It doesn't look at which industry or career you are. Doesn't look whether you are rich, you are poor. No, it doesn't. It's not like, oh, this person looks healthy, so you kena mental health. It's not that. So it affects everyone, but how do we react towards it? How do we look towards it? Yeah. And I don't know whether you agree with me, Sean, with this. I feel that all of us go through mental health challenges.
Yeah.
There are times where you have tight project deadlines,
Yeah.
right? Then that's the stress that keep you going. But once it's over, you can bounce back. But certain individuals, they prolong that stress, which is not good, right? And again, how women deal with mental health in terms of their emotion and how men deal is totally different. Yeah. So women, we are all over the place. We can say we are all over the place, right? From here, we can link to there, then we can go back, and then we can bring back the 10 days or 10 years story, off run, and all this stuff. For men, they are compartmentalized. They like, okay, this. So they don't let it interfere. So the way men look at it also different because how many of us here, when we grow up, especially boys, your parents will say, don't cry. You're not a girl. Don't be sissy. You need to be macho.
Men.
So, men, yes, right? So you cannot express your emotion because by expressing your emotion, by crying, already taught you that, you are weak. You're not macho.
Yeah.
So men have been groomed in that way from a very beginning. And we can't blame our parents because, before this, nobody really talked about mental health, right? And also, men looks at it differently because when things going into their mind or issues, what they do is they either smoke, they drink, or other, ways that they can reduce it, right? But for women, we don't really smoke, we don't really drink, even though some of us, yes, but majority of us, we don't do that. So what's the best way to express? Is to call out and reach out. Yes, so that is why women, when you look at it, it's higher than men. So again, it's the perception of the individual.
So the guys all bottle it up inside them.
Yeah, most of it. Like, generally, men do bottle it up because it's not macho. The men's talk. If you go and oh, I'm going through this thing, they will say, what? Like just let it go lah. I also go through the same thing. You should be a man. You should do this. You should do that. So it's all the man talk. So yeah.
Okay. So on to the next poll.
Okay.
Can a person be born with a mental illness? Yes or no? Okay. All right. So just now you mentioned that gender, does, I guess it affects both, but then age also doesn't. It doesn't matter that about age. You can get it also. But is there a certain age that people are more prone to having mental health issues? Is there a certain category? Do you see a pattern whereby a particular age category?
Okay. Again, as I mentioned, age doesn't matter, right? But if you look at it, okay, for example, when we talk about suicide in Malaysia, okay, is the second leading cause for teens and youth between 15 to 29 years old. Okay, so that's the second leading cause, yeah. And then maybe when they are, okay, for example, during this MCO, there's a research says that women below 35 will go through more emotional and psychological challenges. Okay. Another way that you can look at it, elderly, they are more prone to neurological or psychological disorder. For example, they might have dementia and all that. So based on particular individual. Okay. And yeah, so another factor that you need to look at it, for example, those who are, involved in an accident, okay, they might have trauma. Those who are, while working, they lost their limbs, or they have stroke or heart attack. So all these contribute to the mental well-being because, once they are physically healthy, they can move, they can do things, but now they can't do things. So that can be frustrating. So when we talk about particular age, there are certain areas that you need to look at. Yeah. So that's how you need to look at it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see if we have. Let's see what the audience says. Do they think that a person can be born with mental illness? Facebook is not
So,
getting
okay,
it
let's
up
see.
yet.
What do you think, Sean? What do you think the poll will say?
I say no, but I wasn't allowed to vote. I tried to click, but then I wasn't allowed to vote.
Okay. All right. So we are still waiting for the vote. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you. Okay. The answers are in. 63% yes, 38% no.
Interesting. Okay. Just to address on that, yeah. So when we talk about mental health, it has many factors. It can be biological factors, physiological factors, psychological factors, social factors, and all that. So biological, so we talk about, your DNA, your genetics, and you are born with that. So it does affect. So well done.
So yeah, 63% got it right. That they can go
Yeah.
on. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go to the next poll, maybe we can address this thing. Those suffering from domestic violence, they are stuck in the same home, with their abusers for 24/7. Okay. So they will probably have heightened mental health issues during the initial stages of the MCO, where it's so strict, can't go out. The only time maybe you can have some reply from that is when the ketua keluarga can go out to do marketing.
Yeah.
Apart from talian kasih, what can these people in such situations do in such circumstances?
Okay, just to add a little bit more about my experience receiving call for domestic violence, right? Because I'm part of Talian Kasih. So we receive calls at night and all that. So, the individual feels that they are not safe. The individual feels that they are being, when we talk about abuse, it can also be verbal abuse. It's not only physical, okay? So verbal abuse. And just to clear a little bit, it can be, the abuser can be a guy or a girl. Because most of the time the stigma when it comes to abuse, it's supposed to be a guy has an abuser, but it can be from women, yeah. So when I receive this kind of calls and all that, because we are not there physically to assist, I will direct them to WAO, Women Aid Organization, or AWAM, because they are well versed, so they are able to assist and manage those cases. All right. So that is one way that you can reach out. Another way that you can reach to do is always make sure your safety comes first. All right. For example, if you are in a confined environment where you are near the abuser, so you need to make sure that you are safe. Okay. And try to reach out at any possible time, because if you use certain words, right, the callers will able to understand. Okay, so because your life matter, you are important. And again, avoid possible physical contact. That means if you see the abuser is there and you are there and this person, you can see a change of behavior, try to move away from that. So we need to have that courage, because you see, you need to understand that these are the factors. Sometimes it will just contribute. If you're there, they can just attack you. So try to be as far as possible. Yeah. To add on that also, Sean, during MCO, there are aggressive behavior. For example, an individual who doesn't show aggressive behavior before, suddenly during this period, they might, get angry easily. They start to punch the table. They like to hit and all that. It doesn't make them like, oh, they are abuser. There's a violence. It's just that there's too many things inside of them. They cannot relate. Yes. So that is, the response that they instantly they do. So you need to address this. How often do this person react? How often do this person have aggressive behavior, in terms of action, in terms of verbal? So we need to analyze all that, because I don't want people to think, oh, just one time, you kena and then you feel that this is abuser. So it's unfair, you see. So you need to look at the trend.
I think we have an audience question that is related to what you're saying.
Okay.
So let's pull that up. Stephen is asking, he's congratulating you first on your company's anniversary. So his question is, do you think if there are one or two person with mental unstable or irritated easily, others can be affected by them? What is your opinion?
Okay, so I just recall. Do you think if there's one or two? Okay, so again, you cannot be affected directly if you are mindful. Okay, for example, if you have individual A who is going through, mental health challenges, okay, and you has the stable one, if you try to communicate with A and you don't get response and they reply you, like so rude, so harsh, it will affect you, but it's not contagious. All right. So again, every one of us have our own energy. How much do you absorb that? Secondly,
you allow it to happen.
Yes, right. Secondly, always remember nothing personal. You see, most of the time, we like to make things personal. When someone says something, then it's like you terasa, oh, are you talking about me? Or you are saying something, I felt it. So the best way is nothing personal, because when you are mindful, when you have this thought of nothing personal, whatever that the person responds, it will not change your emotional and mental well-being.
Yeah.
So you don't think over it over and over again, and then
right.
has a defense mechanism, you might react.
Both parties will make up the equation.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we should put the last poll up for tonight, but it's definitely not the last questions. We have still many other questions to go through. Many other topics to cover. Okay, the last poll for tonight: can mental illness be cured? Yes or no?
Interesting, yeah.
All right, audience, you know what to do. All right, Dr. Sangeeta, a study in China published in March 2020 by Lai Jie et al. Found that 50.4% of COVID-19 healthcare workers reported symptoms of depression. 44.6% anxiety, 34% insomnia, and 71.5% distress. What do you reckon is the cause for this, and how would you advise our frontliners here in Malaysia to cope?
Okay. So first of all, we need to applaud the frontliners. We need to really salute them for all their work. All right.
Yeah.
So when this, you see, we are not exposed to pandemic. We are not exposed to disaster, right? So you talk about any disaster, it's not like, oh, a lot of people, a lot of things that we have to go through. And again, this pandemic is new. We are still searching and still looking, or possible solution, what can we do, and all this stuff. Yeah. So during pandemic, the first thing that our frontliners, medical frontliners, need to address is clinical. That means what to do, what to wear, how to address, how to take people, how do we test, and what should we give. So the basic, the first instinct is to save life. The first instinct is to go out there and get it done, no matter what. So when it comes to their psychological well-being, they don't really put that as a primary issue, because the primary issue is to save life, to put people, in triage, look at where they're supposed to go, what they're supposed to do. So when they don't really look at their mental well-being, after some time, it takes a toll. And you need to also understand that those who have kids, those who have elderly at home, they are afraid to go back, because we are not sure what are we carrying. All right, how secure are we with all our props, with all our masks and all that? So being away from family members, uncertain, fear. So this is the contributing factors. All right. So in my suggestion or my view right now, when it's lesser, there's not a lot of people being affected and all that, take time to really see someone, let it go, journal down what you are actually feeling, because it can be traumatic for the frontliners. Overwhelmed, suddenly it's overwhelmed with all these things. Sometimes your brain doesn't really look at that point of view, right? Take some time off, take advantage
release the valve.
Yes, because if you don't release, right, after a certain period of time, maybe after a few years, it will come back.
Explode.
Yes. Really look at your well-being right now.
All right, can we have the poll results? Okay, looks like 90% says that can be cured. So
well done. I'm happy that the audience say 90% is high, and I like it, because it shows that people are more aware about mental health. People are willing to reach out. So that is a very good poll. 90% yes. I'm very happy for it. So all my advocate, creating the awareness, being an advocate doesn't go on waste, and to all of the rest,
All right. So during now we have fast internet, so we have easy access to, and also dissemination of information. Now it's so easy, so fast. Okay, we are bombarded with messages from friends, from family, also from all the information that you can find online now. All these COVID pages that are set up, and so forth. News that from all these agencies. I believe all these adds to one's worry, anxiety. What is your advice on this? What should we do?
Okay, first of all, shut down all negative comments. That's the first thing you need to do. All right, shut down negative comment. Stop reading from unsecured sources. because you need to look at MKN, MOH. So these are valid and legal. So you want information, go to this website or this information source. Yeah. Don't listen a lot to videos, uh, news, images, because it will bring more fear. And another thing that I would like to address this also, individual who have children at home, how do you communicate plays a role. For example, right, you have a gadget in front of you right now, and then you are watching all this negative thing. What will happen? You start to talk about it, like, wow, you see, in US, in all this other country, it's really booming up, and people are, not responding to it positively and selfish and all that. All the words that coming up from you, your kids will learn. So it will, even though they don't know, now they know, and then they will not take the positive, yeah. They will always take the negative. And without you knowing, it will be planted in their mind, and it will be playing inside of them for a period of time. So be mindful of your communication, because that's a major thing that you need to look at. Yeah.
Yeah. I I'm quite glad that my nephew. So sometimes I'll call him using FaceTime. Then he actually knows what's happening. Say, oh, when are you going to school? Say, oh, I can't go to school. Say, why can't you go to school? There's virus. Say, then I say, oh, can I come and see you? Say, no, no, no. You can't come and see me. You must wait for the virus to be gone first. Then we can see each other. Now we can see through the phone. After this, when it's safe, then I can come to your house. You can come to my house. So it's
cute.
good that, yeah, my brother and sister-in-law, they impart the more positive and also factual, letting them understand, letting him understand why this is so. I'm not just saying, oh no, creating something up.
Yes. So that is why mindfulness is very important, because how you communicate between your spouse, between your family members, with the children, it does affect. Instead of looking at all this negative information, translate that to something that is more joy. I watch cartoon with my kids. I love cartoons. So rather than I read all this negative, right? So just change a little bit. It doesn't matter. As long you don't bring that negativity inside, and then you don't acknowledge, then it will bring more harm.
Right. So, humans, being social beings, lack the social interaction during the MCO. For the foreseeable future, there's going to be social distancing still being practiced. How would you advise the public to cope?
Okay. For me, I feel that the first thing is, again, I'm going to repeat, don't take it personally, yeah? Especially if you are communicating, or you go to work, you are eating somewhere, suddenly, you don't wear mask, but another individual wear mask while talking to you. So don't feel offended, because, there's so many ways of looking at it. So translate that to more positive, that, okay, I'm taking care of myself. This individual is taking care of both of us by wearing masks. You can do that. All right. Be mindful with your words, because sometimes we can just say out things. So when you say out things, it might hurt that individual, which later hurt yourself. All right. Be aware of your surroundings. Okay. Be aware of your surroundings. If you feel that this is not a safe place for you to be at the moment, it's valid emotion, it's valid reason, so don't be there. And for example, Sean, if I would want to go to your place, all right, for example, and no, you invite me to your place, then I say, Sean, I don't think I want to go, because I don't really know what's the environment and all that. So be respectful of my explanation, because I don't know what is there, but so don't take things personally, because it will ruin the relationship.
Yeah. And nowadays, having to wear the mask, so you don't actually see all the micro expressions. So,
Yes,
so now you have to really read people's eyes.
with the eye.
Yeah, my girlfriend used to say that, which is the model? Said that there's a term with the eyes. Smile with your eyes. Smiles, I think, if not mistaken. So now
Yeah,
we
if
have
you
to
cover,
see our eyes. Yeah, smile with your eyes.
yeah, then you can see the eye smiling. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I'm not smiling, so I'm angry with you. So this is I'm smiling.
Yeah. So we need to learn how to interact now, having to wear masks in
Yeah,
public, and people do not know. And also muffled. People can't really hear clearly with the mask on as well. So these are
yes.
things that we probably need to adapt. Okay. Um,
Just
there's
to add,
okay.
another thing is that when you have the mask on too long, okay, sometimes you feel that not enough oxygen, you feel tired. So, if possible, if the area is clear, just remove it for a while. Take a couple of deep breaths. When you feel that you need to put it on, just put it on because it's important. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Okay, a related question. So I would like to know this as well. Introverts prefer solitude and extroverts prefer to interact with others. Isn't MCO the ideal condition for those who like to be alone? Does being an introvert or extrovert affect the probability of being mentally affected?
Okay. So, if you look at it, we are all different. We are all diverse. Even though we are introvert, we still need people's engagement because we are social beings. All right. Maybe for the first 1, 2, 3 weeks, you feel so nice. Wow, I can do my things. I have my space. No one disturb me. Okay. But if this prolong to a long period of time, then you need to be mindful because then it's like a shutdown to face people, to socialize with others. All right. So just to let you know that even introvert needs to communicate with others, even introvert need to go out, okay, and get things done. So be mindful of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, I agree with your assessment because I'm an introvert. I really enjoyed it at that time, but then as it dragged on, I felt like, oh, I need to get up. I need to get back the interaction with people, not only through the computer and devices, which brings me to the next thing, Zoom fatigue.
Mm.
So Zoom fatigue is an increasing problem as we use online conferencing tools to conduct meetings and webinars or even communicate with family and friends. Will we have to accept that this is how we interact now? How can we counteract this? I suffer from Zoom fatigue. Although I don't use Zoom,
Yes,
but
yes.
yeah, I suffer from it. I don't enjoy that.
Yeah, even myself is like, all session during Zoom, talking to people, it can be a lot. When is the last time when you physically communicate with an individual and you are like just 3 feet away or 1 feet away? Now it's like I'm so near to my laptop. Okay. Yes, yes, right. So you need to understand that too much of Zoom, it's not good, or any other of digital platform or video platform. You need to have a break. I hear people, they have session one after another. So it's not healthy. Because how can you focus? Okay, sit down in one place and focus. So there are few things that you can do. All right. For example, if that meeting or if that is something that is not so important where you need to be present, then maybe you can opt out by giving explanation why you would like to opt out. Because there's a lot of meeting during MCO that sometimes it's not relevant for you to be there. You are more productive if you are out there and start doing your work. Your presence might not be um, as important than your job. Yeah, right. And then have a schedule. That means, okay, today I have this Zoom meeting. So have a schedule that you can follow. And after some time, you need to shut it down. As I say, try to shut down as early as possible. Get your things done so that you are back. Walk. Sometimes you need to walk, because if you are seated a long time, it will affect you. Okay, do some stretching, do some exercise. It doesn't matter, even a short exercise will do. While you're sitting, you just stretch your arm. Yes, you just stretch. You just do this, or you just can put your neck like, okay, go to the side, stretch a little bit, and stretch a little bit, because it will help you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Really
be disciplined.
true.
Yeah, be disciplined also. That not every Zoom meeting you need to go out, meet, and get things done. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Mm.
I have to admit, it's not all doom and gloom during the MCO. Many
No.
individuals actually reported they had more time to spend with families and friends. Well, sorry, not friends, families.
Virtually.
Yeah, virtually. And they picked up new skills during the period as well.
Yes.
People ate healthier home cooked meals and had time to exercise and meditate. I can relate to that also. When I'm working, I don't have regular meals. But during the MCO, I can have lunch at 12 noon. I can have dinner at 6. So I really have very good time for my meals. So how would you advise them and myself lah, to continue this healthier routine? I also had time to start learning yoga, learn to stretch and things like that, and also to take time to meditate. So how do we continue this? I know I can't, because the first day I came back to the office, my dinner was at midnight. so
Wow.
so I need your advice.
Okay. Okay. So my advice will be schedule it and discipline. These two. All right. Okay. Why I say this is that during the MCO, we develop a new habit or a new behavior. Yeah. So you are very, like you say, I have breakfast, then I have lunch at 12, then I have my dinner by 6. So it's very nice. Okay. And your body already adapted to that. So you develop a new habit. Okay. And then now when you are going out, right, if you don't keep to that schedule, definitely you're going to go back to square one, because the old habit is already deep rooted in your brain. So when it's already deep rooted in your brain, you can supersede the new behavior or the new habit you have just developed. All right. So even though it's difficult, but you need to make a point to address that and follow the schedule. Because if you don't, you're going to go back to the old habit, eat at 12 and then straight away go and sleep. You got what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I also
discipline and
realized
follow it.
during MCO, I actually gained about 1 or 2 hours, because you don't really need that much time to prepare, to get to work. You don't need to travel, so you
Mm-hmm.
didn't really get the additional 1 2 hours every day. So I guess that actually helps as well,
Yes.
to make your schedule a bit more manageable.
Yeah. So one approach that I use, Sean, is I have my exercise shoe in my room. So the moment I wake up, I make sure that's the first thing I see, and then I'll just wear it and then start doing it. It doesn't matter how long. Mine is normally like 2-3 minutes just to start the day. It doesn't need to be heavy exercise. It doesn't need to be like 1 hour, 2 hour. No, it just 2-3 minutes will do. So this is how I do my routine. Bangun saja, straight away take my sneakers and do it.
And you can slowly add on after that. We get 5 minutes, then later on 10 minutes, and so forth. A slow
Yeah,
progression.
correct. Yes,
Okay.
yes, slow. So
Yeah.
you don't push yourself more, slow and steady. Yeah.
There's a comment regarding extroverts.
Okay.
Being an extrovert, it took a lot of adjustments to adapt to being best friends with my laptop.
Yes, yes, yes. Because an extrovert, if you look, they are an individual who are expressive. They have energy to really move out, do things, get things organized, and they are, most of the time they prefer to be out than in. All right. So the adjustment needs to be done, and um, you know, the energy need to transfer. So when the energy transfer, you need to look at what other things can I do. For example, I'm an extrovert also, being at home for a long period of time can just drive me crazy. So I convert that to different sets of energy. So what I'll do is I'll start cleaning. Maybe I'm a freak a little bit. I like to clean and all that, but I do a lot of things where it requires a lot of energy and movement. Okay. And then learn new skill, meet people all via video. But again, be disciplined, be mindful of, okay, enough. I don't need to communicate with so many people, you know. So you need to have that discipline. You need to learn, because during MCO we are learning a lot of things. Sometimes we feel that we cannot do, but now we can do. Last time I don't think I can wake up straight away, exercise, but now I can. So yeah. So you have that power, you have that capability. Listen to yourself, listen to your body, then you'll be clearer.
Yeah, but my assistant also made a comment saying that now you have more meetings because it's easier to have meetings now. In the
Yeah.
past, you need to physically go to another location, be it a different meeting room, a different
Mm-hmm.
building. Now all you need to do is okay, bye, click the button, leave the meeting, and then join another meeting. So you
Yeah.
don't need to physically go to
Yes.
anywhere. So that's why you can schedule more and more meetings back to back.
Yes, yes, which is quite dangerous, because then where are the boundaries? You know, because then it'll be non-stop with meetings. So at night, when you need to rest, you start doing your office job.
Yeah, but
Uh,
fortunately, we have not had anything. That's why I can eat my dinner at 6 because after that, then yeah, there's nothing. Yeah.
Wonderful,
So,
lovely.
so at least the company still follows the respect the working hours.
Very good, very good.
Okay, I think there's one more.
Okay.
Um, okay, I think we'll take one more question before we
Mm-hmm.
wrap things up. Okay. No, not this question. There's another question that's coming up. Is being lazy an early symptom of having mental health?
Okay. So again, you need to evaluate that, yeah, because sometimes it's okay to be lazy, because your body is giving you message to rest. But if that laziness, you need to see, what does lazy mean. Lazy mean for you that you just sleep, you don't want to wake up, or lazy for not doing exercise or doing work. You need to look what is the cause of your laziness, right? Because we all operate differently, we have different personality, and we are diverse. So be mindful. For example, if you feel that, I just don't want to wake up, I want to sleep, and then the next day you have the same thing, I just want to sleep, and it prolonged from days to weeks to months, then
Yeah.
that's the trigger where you need to address that. But if just say in 1 week you just want to sleep, you've been a lot of Zoom video lah, meetings lah, appointments lah, I just want to take this
Saturday day
yes, or
off.
then it's fine. But if it's every day become weeks and months, then you really need to look up. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think we have reached the 1 hour mark. So it looks like we
Okay.
need to wrap things up. Okay. How does one maintain one's mental well-being regardless of their circumstances or surroundings? A related question by an audience. What is the best way to calm anxiety?
Okay. So for me, it's always good to journal it down. Where does
Okay.
this comes from? Okay, because when you talk about anxiety, it's about fearing of the future. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? The next minute, the next hour. So you have this. So start to journal, where does this come from? Because most of the time, our presenting problem is just at the tip of the iceberg, but the actual problem is deep rooted down. So when you start to journal and when you view it, you will understand from where this is coming from. Okay, it can be from your development stage. Okay, it can be something that it just happened. For example, now during this pandemic, a lot of people start washing their hands, sanitize. Like last time don't have also, like myself last time okay lah, right? Now it's like, oh no, we need to sanitize every shop or every meeting I go. I make sure that I sanitize a few times. So so you need to understand where does this. You need to address this. And for example, when you journal it today and tomorrow when you read it will be totally different, because your perception, your understanding of looking at it is different. So keep on writing it down. Yeah. Another thing that I can suggest is get enough sunlight. Most of us afraid to go out to the sun. Morning sun, not the afternoon sun right on top, but get enough sunlight because it's important. All right. Walk or jog. Do things that you. Okay. Because for me, if you ask me to run, I don't like to run. I like to walk. And maybe for you, Sean, you like to cycle. So we are all different. You are like a guinea pig. Test on yourself what works, what doesn't work, how do you feel, how do you react to it, then you understand yourself better. That's how I would suggest. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sangeeta, for spending your time with us the past hour. We thank you for all the sharing in the past hour and hope you stay safe and healthy always. I think there's something that you want to share with us.
Oh, yes. So part of the conference last year, which, one of the tag that I do is reach out, speak out. Reach out, speak out. Yeah. Why do I say reach out? That, every one of us need to reach out. We have issues, we have problems, but we need people that we can communicate, people that we can share, right? And we need to have support. So if you think that you cannot get support from your friends, from your family, there's always support outside of your comfort, which you need to explore. So the moment you reach out, you speak out, it is clearer for you. So that's what I would like to share. Yeah. So be safe, be mindful. Journaling is so important. Journal it down. Please be an advocate of mental health. Go out, talk about mental health, reduce the stigma, reduce the stereotype, because it can affect anyone, no matter who you are. All right. So for your mental well-being, take care. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. Remember to pay attention to your mental well-being during this pandemic as well. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for being with us since 8 p.m. Do join us again next Friday on Science Stream, same time, same place. Don't forget to reach out and speak out. Good night and stay safe.